interaction.
I see. The problem with our generation, we are confused. We are
Really?
confused. Like, we don't know what's happening. We don't know where we're going. We're just going. And I don't know what's going to save us, because when you check social media, nobody is trying to do anything to find their direction. But we are going.
We're going.
We're following something. What can you say about, you've got this program, Quarter Life Crisis.
Yes. Yes.
How can that solve our problem? Because I definitely do believe that we're in a crisis.
I think also Miracle person needs to say, yes, you're in a crisis. And the course that we do, the webinar, I actually do it with my colleague, Tony Wachira from Kenya. So we have the South Africa-Kenya collaboration. He's younger than me. I'm a bit older. And we really have this great diversity. But when we did our research, we actually realized once again what happened to me years ago, thinking society boxed me as this divorced woman. I think that's exactly what's happening now as well.
Definitely.
Is that the younger generation, your generation, is so used to people saying we don't understand you that I think you've just used the word. That's why I was laughing. Is that we're confused, and I think it's got nothing to do with being confused. I think that's the way it's been labeled.
Okay.
So the minute a person gets labeled, you start thinking that way, and that's when things just unravel. So with our quarter life crisis is real, we look at the word real. The R is we show reality, the real life examples of a quarter life crisis. And for those of you that are not 100% sure about the quarter life crisis, normally it's the 20-somethings. But in recent years, it can actually start from 18 and go right up to 35. All right? So you've heard of midlife crisis. All right, midlife crisis, you get halfway, you're like 45, and you think, what have I done with my life? I need to start changing things, and that's it. A quarter life crisis is when you go through it when you are younger. But most people don't even know they're in that crisis. In hindsight, I was in that quarter life crisis when I started the business. I was in my 20s. And met the partner, got married, but not necessarily for the right reasons. And I didn't realize until I did the research that that's probably one of the reasons why the marriage didn't work.
Okay.
Because I went into it very blindly. Why? Because also I've started the business, but the pressure when you're getting married, why? Because you've got to follow the recipe. If you don't follow the recipe, you're not successful. And doing the research, there was also that aha moment saying, I didn't realize that I was going through that quarter life crisis.
Wow.
And I looked at that and I was like, wow. A quarter life crisis is described as having that crisis, that anxiety of where my life is going. The problem is nowadays why the younger generation feels confused is because there is no new recipe for them. So if you have a look, I mentioned it earlier, Generation X and boomers, it was easy. All right, you go to school, you study, because you have to study, to get a job, you meet the life partner, you get engaged, you get married,
You get kids.
get the house,
Yeah.
get the kids, and then you get the grandkids. And you just stick to the
retire.
same job. And if you get a certificate or a gold watch or something for being 50 years at a company, wow, that was success. I know I'm generalizing. It's not necessarily a recipe was for all. But let's take more or
The
less.
majority, yeah.
That was it. So the question, Miracle, is that was the old recipe. What's the new recipe? And that's the thing.
Wow.
There is no recipe. So when the younger generation decides they don't want to study, parents are often, they get panicky. No, but you have to, because you have to put something behind your name. How are you going to have a family, care for a family, if you don't have this? Or, no, I'm not going to study, I'm going to become an entrepreneur. But you can't become an entrepreneur, you've got no skills. Well, you know, kind of thing. So I think it is the panic and anxiety maybe of a lot of parents or teachers, senior people that are involved with that 20-something's life. I think they panic more, and that's the confusion. So what Tony and I do, we go and we talk about it's real. The R is, where's the reality that proves it's real? And one of the things is that we look at real examples. But we also look at people that have been hugely successful. They didn't follow the recipe.
Yeah.
So there's two realities to it.
Yeah.
All right? Then we look at like evidence in terms of, that's the E for real, the evidence in terms of what role social media plays. But more important, what other people are doing to make their life look so glamorous. And now we start competing. Oh, they seem to have it all, they've got it together.
Yeah.
Why haven't I got it together? Yeah. And now it becomes that, you know what? Now I need to start doing something. The more I put pressure on myself, I'm competing, but I don't really know what I'm competing about.
Yeah.
Because I don't really want to be them. But then what do I want to be?